Well, hello and welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. September 19th, 2018. I'm so excited to be here with everybody. Really excited about the training. I appreciate everybody's time. I know how valuable it is, as well as the people that are taking the time to listen to the recording. Thank you so much for being here. I do know today is a national holiday, so we might have a smaller amount of people on the call and more people listening to the recording, and that's absolutely fine. We put together a great training for you today. I put together a little PowerPoint, and then Mike's put together a PowerPoint, and as always, we're going to open up the floor because everybody's voice matters, and we all get to learn from each other here, on Team Prosperity. So thanks again for being here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my PowerPoint. Now, my PowerPoint is going to be just about some of the questions that I've had come up throughout the week. And this is what I would really like to talk about because the people that have questions, I'm sure there's others that have the same questions. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. So the first question that I've been getting asked is about the 12-week year. It's not just a fad. So if you missed this one this time around, still get the book, still read the book, still get organized, still set goals and, ways to reach those goals. It's really important. So if you didn't get the book done in time and you're not participating in the small groups and the breakout groups that we're having, not a big deal. We'll be doing it, every 15 or 16 weeks. We'll be starting a new 12-week year because we take a few weeks off, between. So definitely get the book if you haven't yet. Definitely start reading the book and start applying the book if you're not already done with it. So the other thing that really gave me a good idea and why I made this slide was I loved what Mike said about, doing different themes of posts every day. And he had, Monday through Friday different themes. And I noticed that I really need to do something like that for myself, because I posted like 2 that were like mountain scenes back to back, and I was like, wait, I need to kind of start to brainstorm about some different themes that I can look up and, look at different pictures. So if I Google sunrise, and I click on images, it'll give me a bunch of images of a sunrise. So these are just different words and ideas that you can Google to get, different pictures to make memes. Sunrise, famous people, castles, fish, travel destinations. I'm not going to read all of them, but you kind of get the idea. Ancient places, waterfalls, lightning, national parks, love, drama, barns, ice. If you look at Pinterest, you don't have to take anybody's pictures, but if you see a cool one of a sunset, you can just, like I did one yesterday. I saw this beautiful red sunset, so I Googled red sunset, and I just took a picture of that. So that takes me to how do I make a personalized meme? This is a question I've had come up 3 times this week from 3 different people, so I definitely want to address it. Now, I will tell you that Mike made a YouTube video about how to do this step-by-step. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, it's in his signature. The little YouTube-looking box under his signature is his YouTube channel. If you subscribe to it, you'll get all of his new videos that he puts on there, as well as have access to his library. And he actually categorized it. So if you go under Team Prosperity, you can look at all of the videos that he's made for our team specifically, including how to make a personalized meme. But what I do is I get a picture from Google Themes, from like that last sheet that I just showed you. Just pick a theme, like sunrise. So I Google sunrise, and I light shot it onto PowerPoint, and I realized why light shot wasn't working last time, because I was on a full screen. So light shot is this little feather, and what it allows you to do is it allows you to take a screenshot. So all you have to do is find what you want to screenshot, take a screenshot, find a quote, and put that quote over the picture, and then all I do is I just edit the font size and color, and I add my own link and my own handle in there. And from there, I either save it to my desktop or I email it to myself and share it, straight from my phone or straight from my computer. And what I like to do is I like to share on Instagram, and I toggle over to share to Facebook too, because that shares exactly. And then it lets me create like a cool filter. And then from there, I share it to my business Facebook page, my LinkedIn, my Google+, my Twitter. So I end up doing like 6 different posts or 5 different posts, but it's the same thing. So it literally takes me maybe 5 minutes at the most to do one of these. So I also add the completed meme to a desktop folder and to my Google folder on my phone. That way, if I want to share it, in a few months and, have a whole folder of personalized memes if I need to pull one once they circulate around enough. So the other question I've had come up is about underwriting. And every single file in underwriting has a closing date and it has an underwriter. So check the closing date. We can get more time if we call, if it's needed. So we just need to stay on top of it, make sure that we're getting everything in before the closing date. If we're looking like it's approaching 3-4 days away, you want to make a call. Anybody in new business can give you an extension for a week. Sometimes they can give a lot longer if needed, if there's a reason. So definitely communicate with new business, communicate with the underwriters. Every single file has an underwriter name. For example, if Jane Smith is my underwriter, Jane Smith's email is jane.smith or jane.smith@transamerica.com. So communicate with the underwriters. I can help you. You just need to ask for help. Your upline can help you. We're all here to help you. So make sure that if you're writing business and you're the writing agent, that you're staying on top of the closing dates, you're communicating with the underwriters, you're asking for help, and you're getting all of your outstanding requirements in a timely manner. The other note that I want to point out is, we all have to-do lists. So make sure you're taking stuff off your to-do list once it's resolved, not just once you call about it. So I've got a to-do list, every single day, and I'm constantly, updating, putting things on there, taking things off. And just because you call about something doesn't mean it's resolved. Follow up, make sure that, you're staying on track of your business, your team, your new business partners. The other thing that I've had like questions this week is Google Alerts. So you never have to look for an article again to Snipply. All you have to do is go to google.com/alerts, set up your alerts, and you will get emails with those keywords when there are articles that get pushed through Google with those keywords, which is pretty much every article. So all great stuff. If you need one-on-one help, please let us know. If there's anything that you want me to cover on the next Wednesday meeting, let us know. I believe that's pretty much everything that I have. Let me go ahead and grab Mike. But if anybody has anything that they want to comment, after Mike's done, we'll open up the floor. So
hey, Alana.
1 second.
Alana.
Oh, you're here. David, go right ahead.
Real quickly. Thank everybody for being here. I'm off to go pray for God knows all I've done bad in life this year. But I just wanted to say one thing about this person who got recognized last night, Tanya Saldua. So proud of her. This is a woman who works full-time, and I mean full-time, comes home to a family, and still does the job. She's an incredible inspiration to me. You should all talk to her. She's a great, great lady. I'm really proud to have her as my business partner. She outworks me, so she's my inspiration. And I will tell you that she is on her way to doing some great things. So I've got to go. I really appreciate the 3 minutes, 30 seconds. I really wanted to spotlight Tanya because she's an incredible lady. And if anybody wants to talk to her and how she does it, feel free to call me. She'll be more than happy to speak to you. I can promise you that. Everybody have a great day, and speak to you soon. Thanks a lot.
All right, you guys, hope everybody's doing well. I know today is a big Jewish holiday, so we have some people missing. This is also, guys, a very, very weird time for a meeting. When Alana and I picked out a meeting time for our team on a weekly basis, there's a lot of other meetings going on around in virtual financial. We had to pick one that was it fit into the weekly schedule. So Wednesday at this time, it's a little weird. So if you have new partners coming in, and this is an absolute no-go in terms of making this live, make sure you get the recording out to them. We send it out. I put it on the YouTube channel. I post in the Facebook group. A lot of good information that we go over, and it will keep them connected, keep them learning, and keep them involved. So let's go through some stuff today that I wanted to point out to you guys. Remember, this is your vision. It's freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, lifestyle freedom, the ability to help other people get to that freedom. Never keep your eye off the prize. It's not going to fall into your lap. It's going to take a little bit of work, a little bit of time to let your efforts compound, but this is an incredible opportunity for you guys and your family. David just mentioned Tanya. She got, introduced into the CEO Club last night. The CEO Club 10, guys, is really a first step in starting to build your organization. It's really a badge of starting to get past the learning curve, because through those, initial 10 people, you're learning, who do I want to talk to, who do I not want to talk to, who's still with me, who's not, why. That'll help you going forward. Great job, Tanya. I look forward to working with you as you go forward and progress even further in this company. All right, we talked about last week the importance of compartmentalizing everything. Don't spread yourself too thin. Don't think you have to learn everything at one time. I made that mistake several months ago with social media. Trying to do everything usually causes us to do very little, because we are spread too thin. And that's an important part. If you're trying to learn all of these platforms, all of these concepts at one time, brain's not going to register the information and keep it and digest it to the point you can use it for practical use. So stepping stones, compartmentalize, master, and move on. Remember, break things down. I'm going to concentrate on this, and then I'm going to move on. YouTube is one of the greatest resources that we have for learning. I can go right now on YouTube and I can look up recruiting, marketing, social media. I can learn about whatever I want. So instead of just flipping through the channels at night with nothing on TV, hop on YouTube. I promise you, just like every other effort that you let come down, if you continue to educate yourself on the things that you need to keep learning, it's going to have a really, really big positive influence and impact on your business and your bottom line. When we speak about compartmentalizing, I want you to do that on social media as well. So if you come in and you have no social media accounts, or you have very little social activity, it doesn't really matter. You're going to start in the same place, and that's LinkedIn. We talked about last week the numbers, the statistics that reinforce the value of LinkedIn, especially in a business like this. LinkedIn is going to allow you to build your professional brand. You have to do that first and foremost. If you're on these other sites spreading yourself too thin, not getting anything out of any of the sites, my first real big metric for being able to move to another site, have I extracted LinkedIn? Have I extracted value out of LinkedIn? If you have, great. Then you can start doing some other stuff. If you haven't, you need to continue to concentrate on LinkedIn. Ask for help if you need it. And really, your daily ritual on LinkedIn is just going to be connect. Try to connect with 50 to 100 people a day. Out of those people that connect with you, you've got intro messages that we've created for you. You've got follow-up messages, the way to interact with them on the message center in terms of a new connect or an old connect who may have requested information. You also want to have the activity, the post. Now, the activity is not going to grow your business. You're not going to post some meme and everybody starts flooding into your business. The activity is there so that you can have a constant feed going through, that you've posted, that you've done things on a daily basis to keep your activity up, and that draws people into you. This person's interesting. What do they do? Let me go to their profile, and your profile is supposed to be something that really creates excitement about you as a person, your brand, and your business opportunity. And then interaction, including notifications. So every day you're going to get notifications. Who's got a work anniversary? Who started a new job? Who has liked your post? Who's commented on your post? Who's commented on something that you commented on? So you want to make sure you check those notifications every day. For example, guys, if somebody has a work anniversary, I'm going to congratulate them about the work anniversary, but I always, 100% of the time, congratulating people, put one of my links in there. Always be advertising. You don't know when it's going to be the right time, the right place, the right person, where they open up that link and it steers us into a conversation. And the very last thing, guys, is groups. If you're not in groups, if you're not effectively trying to be active in groups, if you're not joining new groups, if you're not being able to see who's in those groups and start conversations with those people, you're missing a big part of LinkedIn. And we're going to go into a little detail in a few minutes. But make sure that you are using LinkedIn, learning LinkedIn, and if you're having trouble, ask somebody who's having success with LinkedIn. They'll be glad to share it with you. This is what I'm talking about. So when you start to build value in your relationships, people will start reaching out to you. You know, hey, Mike, do you mind teaching me how you added those photos above your picture on LinkedIn? So I gave her a general, just quick comment about, you know, how to kind of steer her in the right direction, but I also put something else in there. You know, outside of that, you know, I teach entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial mindset people how to disrupt one of the largest industries in the world with a 21st century digital model. If you want to, if you're interested, or, you know, anybody else is interested, we do hold interviews a few times a month, something like that. So A, we're answering the question, but B, we're also reinforcing, hey, this is what I do. This is how I help people. This is how you can possibly learn more about the opportunity, myself, what we do, what we're looking for, and how we can possibly, you know, help you in your own life. So the value comes from interaction. The value comes from engaging your audience. That will come after a period of time when you build that audience. So LinkedIn groups. We just talked about this, but you want to make sure that you join as many groups with the goal of interacting with and influencing those groups, eventually starting your own group. When we talk about how to gather data, how to gather emails, starting your own LinkedIn group is a great way. But you're not just going to hop on LinkedIn and start your own group. You're going to join a bunch of groups, see how those groups are constructed, see how people interact in those groups, and eventually start your own group. And then with that group, if you have 25, 50, 100,000 plus people, it's a lot of data you just got. And then also, you know how to search for and join groups. If you're in the company and you don't know how to search for a group, that's a problem. We're going to show you today, but make sure that you guys aren't just glossing over these platforms saying, okay, I understand how to post on LinkedIn, that's it. Know the difference between a post and an article. If there's one hack that you get out of today's training, it's if you write original material, LinkedIn is going to reward you in a big way, and I'll show you how what I mean in just a minute. Articles create group influence as well as a shortcut to blanket an entire audience with one click. So I'll show you how to do that at the end. And then remember, we are always trying to make sure that we're not sitting there thinking about something. If you're doing a post and you're thinking about what hashtags to use, that's a problem. I've got a Word document. I just copy and paste. But in the beginning, and how you add to that document is by doing a little research. These are the two best sites that I've seen. It's Webstagram and then also WriteTag.com. WriteTag seems to be a little bit better than Webstagram, and we will briefly, before we end this meeting, just go through that real quick. It's a very, very easy website to use. Your circle of success. We talked about this last week, but remember, this opening right here, this tier 1 contact, confirm, ABC, commit, all of that is controlling who you basically let into your business as a client, as a potential business partner. That essentially is the front door of your business. You get to call, or you get to say who comes in and who doesn't. And that's basically set up with some prerequisites. Have they fulfilled the prerequisite videos? Have they done what we needed them to do to allow you to invest even more time in a conversation with them? Make sure that you are controlling your front door. Make sure that you're not getting too lax in your front door and just leaving it open. You can work very hard in this business and get nothing out of it, or you can work smart and get a lot out of it. Part of that, or a lot of that's going to be your ability to control that front door, which is the tier 1. Make sure you master this so that when people come in your organization, you start to take over managerial roles, you can also help them master that as well. All companies, great companies, they do 3 things. They hire, they invest, and they advertise. They grow. All companies, if you're not growing, you're contracting and you're dying. So we always want to be growing. So if a company is out there and they're hiring, they're investing, they're advertising, they're looking to grow. We are looking to grow like most other companies in America. We hire like most other companies in America. The only difference in our opportunity is an entrepreneurial opportunity where people are willing to tie their income 100% to the revenue growth of this company. It is a great opportunity for those people that understand it. Remember, when you look at the cash flow quadrant, 95% of the people control 5% of the wealth on that left-hand side. That's the W-2. That's the self-employed. Versus 5% of the population is business owners and investors. They control 95% of the wealth. So don't get discouraged when people don't understand this, don't want to do this, looking for a job. The masses do not know how money works. And you are separating yourself from the masses to put yourself in that small category of that sample size of the population that does understand how money works and can effectively put things in place that can dramatically change your standard of living. So remember that. You're always hiring, you're always investing, you're always advertising, you're always trying to grow your business. And growing your business comes from two different areas. Now, everybody's got different philosophies on this. I believe that the best way to grow your business is obviously using all three prongs of marketing. But in that warm market, you know, those people, either if it's you or your business partners, they're going to have a pretty good idea of those people in the warm market. You know, my uncle, my brother, my aunt, this person could be somebody that I think, you know, might want to look at this business opportunity and is qualified to be a business partner. So I'm going to approach them for purposes of the business opportunity. But where you guys can extract a lot of premium and get a lot of activity going for your new partners, that's income growth for them. And for you guys, points that's going to fuel promotions and organizations, is from being also able to effectively extract the sales out of the warm market. We're going to go through this. This is not as hard as you guys think it might be. And for a new partner, especially if they don't have industry experience, once again, we don't want them on the telephone trying to explain things to people. We lead with videos. We've got product videos that we can lead with. And really the one that I think will work best, I'll show you guys today. Social media, cold market, once you get out of the warm market, if you lead with recruiting or basically the business opportunity, it allows you to open more conversations. We've talked about this. So if somebody's not interested in the business, but they actually did watch the videos, tax-free retirement, living benefits, it's a roundabout way to get in front of more people than if you led with product sales. And remember, that recruiting, or we refer to it as hiring. Recruiting to me seems like you will take on anybody. We have an interview process. We have filters. We hire people. That's going to get you the clients that you're looking for, business partners, sales, revenue, growth, income, promotions, bonuses, trips. Eventually, if you do this correct, you're going to have a monster organization with business activity coast to coast. And we just talked about this. When I hear recruiting, I think of anybody with a breath and a pulse. That's a lot of these companies that, if you make money off bringing somebody in, off the sign up, that's recruiting. We hire guys. We have a lot of things that we need done before we say, okay, let's bring you in. A prerequisite video, the confirmation call, an interview process with knockout questions. So I prefer to use the word hire, but, you guys can use whatever you want. We are hiring on a constant basis, but the people have to be qualified. Another thing that you need to do when you're out there hiring is you need to know what you're looking for. And once again, that's an important part. If you know what you're looking for, it's a lot easier to find it. So the partner persona, the background, the identifiers, the goals, the challenges, the demographics, how they spend their time, their interest. You need to come up with somebody that you're looking for. Your partner persona could be a lot like mine, could be very different. Just depends on who you're trying to bring in the organization, who fits your personality, who fits your demographic, who do you want to build yourself around, and that's who you're looking for. Once you know, easier to go out and ask for it. Prospecting. This is an important part, and this is a learned skill, but what you need to understand is that prospecting basically can equal a beat-down experience. It can be a cold and unforgiving experience. A, you're doing a lot of initiating of conversations, but B, you're trying to get people to look at something. A lot of people don't even understand it. So a lot of times, like we talk about, as being an innovator, early market mover, disruptor, feels like you're on a desert island by yourself. Just work through it. You'll get better at this. And then some say makeup and numbers what you lack in skill. Still going to be pummeled with objections. We've taken care of a lot of this for you guys by the simple fact we don't have rebuttals for objections. If somebody's not looking at a business opportunity or they watch the videos and they're not interested in what we're doing, hey, wish them the best of luck going forward. You can try to open up a client conversation, but our system dictates you really don't have to do anything with those people, but be nice to them, wish them the best of luck going forward, have a great day. And then finally, you have to learn how to effectively prospect. Like I just told you, it's a skill that's going to be learned. You're going to get better at it. Don't think that you're just going to hop on day one, never doing this before, and start knocking it out of the park. What I will tell you and what I see over and over and over again in our organization is that people are willing to put the effort in. You're going to see they get past that learning curve, things start to click. All of a sudden it goes from dumps in the notes in the CRM to tier 1 ABCs, tier 1 commits, tier 2s. So it will get better if you allow it to get better and allow yourself to get better. You need to prospect with a purpose. Don't just randomly go out there prospecting. Like I said, know who you're looking for, but also gain the confidence. That confidence is going to come from the initial trial periods of you tripping over yourself, making mistakes, learning from those. Whichever party is most confident on the phone is going to lead the other party. Hopefully that's you, but if it's not you in the beginning, you're going to get led, and those results aren't going to be what you want them to be. But it needs to be you, and it will be you if you give this enough time. You need to learn how to close before you prospect. You need to develop a yes formula. Now remember, we're not rebuttaling people with objectives, but the yes formula should be to get people into some type of an agreement to watch some videos. Like I said, if somebody's looking for a business opportunity, this is an entrepreneurial opportunity. Most entrepreneurs are always on the lookout for good opportunity. So develop that rapport, develop an approach that's going to allow people to kind of, gravitate towards you. If you sound half dead on the phone, sound unenthusiastic, sound depressed, you're not going to attract the right type of conversations. Disruption. This is what we do. We are a technology company disrupting one of the largest industries in the world. The innovation, the technology, the business speed, the reach that we have now, it's incredible. The right people will understand this instantly. The rest of the people, our system allows you to get rid of those people very, very, very quickly. All we're doing, guys, is taking a very old, stale, stagnant industry. We're overhauling it with a digital model that allows us to extract from the traditional model and let that new money or let that money flow to a digital model. We've talked about this before. Would Aegon be America be around? Would the insurance industry be around without virtual financial? Of course they would. We're not doing anything new. Innovation is the key that unlocks new value. Mass surge of money coming from the traditional model to the digital model. You guys are on the forefront of that disruption, and we've got everything in place both on the platform as well as the digital side for a turnkey operation. This is your territory. This is an enormous territory. There's a lot of great people that we're meeting. There's a lot more great people to meet out there that, like I said, will understand what you're offering, be receptive to that message, and fall into line in terms of being able to watch the videos and being there when you follow up with them to have a conversation that will either lead to a dump or will lead to an ABC call. That's really what you have to master on the front end. I look at a map like this every day. This is an incredible opportunity to create massive distribution coast to coast, and in a big industry that's measured in trillions, that is a huge wealth building opportunity for you guys. What you want to look for in your day-to-day prospecting as people that understand the cash flow quadrant. If they understand it and know it, they're going to be more apt to your message. Do they understand the impact of digital disruption on our lives? What do we still do the same that we did in the year 2000? A lot of it's not the same. Understanding how a disruptive model changes an industry this large and what opportunity that creates. Understanding that distribution over sales, not a book of business, but a business, very important. Understand the freedom associated with a virtual lifestyle. Live, work, travel, be with who you want to. It's incredible. We call it the new rich. And understand the advantage of having a system to plug into. I love it when I get on the phone with somebody and they say, one of the things that attracted me to your business model was that you guys have a system in place. Love to hear that. People that understand systems understand the value of a system and how to plug it into not for themselves, but how to plug other people in that will create that freedom. Might stroke your ego to have people counting on you every day. You're never going to find the freedom that way. Also, understand what a deal it is to access this business opportunity, this platform for the price. Somebody says, oh, I got to pay for this. I didn't know it costs money. That person is not an entrepreneur. They probably never owned a business in their life, and they're going to go back to the left-hand side of the cash flow quadrant and continue to trade their time for money. Understand and appreciate what a staggering number this platform pays out. Over $1 billion, estimated to pay out $4 billion in 2020. Understand what it means from a cash flow perspective to have something in place that allows for exponential growth with little to no fixed and variable expenses. I mean, this is a cash cow, guys. I've never seen a business opportunity where you can scale it nationwide, coast to coast, and not have your expenses rise with that. And then understand what a financial and lifestyle freedom really means. It's an important fact. If people want that and they're willing to work for it, we've got a legitimate avenue to get them there. And then finally, understand what happens to market share in these transformations. We just talked about this. Money flows from a traditional to a digital model in a big way when we hit the inflection point. We're right around the corner from that. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but you guys, we have exponential game changers. This is one of the greatest transformational shifts in one of the largest industries in the world. Creates a major opportunity. We have things that we can go on hundreds, if not thousands, of game changers, advantages. So you want to make sure that not in the beginning, you just want to nail that tier 1 contact confirm script, but as you go along and you have to take over managerial roles and build your organization, that language and verbiage should be there to hold a conversation with anybody at any time and be the most confident in that conversation. Remember, as you go along, you're going to get better at prospecting. You're going to start to build that language, that verbiage, that confidence, and this is really a pyramid of how you get what you want. Build rapport. That allows you to establish a trust and a credibility position that will allow you to extract information from somebody. That information is going to lead to a problem. Now, the problem could be an actual problem, or it could be some goal that they want. The problem leads to the ability for you to offer a solution. And that solution, in turn, leads to an action. That action, is probably the business opportunity, or it could be some type of a client sale. Without any of those, without rapport, you're not going to build the credibility. Without credibility or trust, they're not going to divulge the information. Without that, you can't uncover the problem, no solution, no action. This is the pyramid of how you master, upfront recruiting and prospecting. And then you just reverse engineer and dissect it backwards. All components of this equal mastery. As a recruiter, follow-up skills is a must. If you're not going to follow up with people, you have little to no chance of being a high earner. It separates people in the sales industry, and it separates people in the recruiting industry. Follow-up is a must. And that's probably the biggest problem I see with you guys when I see the managerial tasks that I have in the CRM. You guys are pretty good at creating leads, not very good at following up. You need to follow up, not to the point to close somebody, but follow up to the point of resolving the lead. You create and resolve enough leads, you're going to get what you're looking for. Increase the conversation of resolved leads, or conversion of resolved leads. Dumping because of non-communication is not the same as a resolved lead. That is a big difference. If you dump just because you give up versus dump because you've actually talked to them and resolved them, big difference. An effective follow-up is an absolute must. You will fail without. Follow-up is a make or break for your business. Digest that for yourself and make sure your partners understand that. 3 things to keep in mind as a recruiter that will help you. You are important. Act accordingly. Act as if you've got an agency of 5 or 10,000 already. Don't let people string you along. Don't let people break their commitments. In this digital environment, it's easier for them because we get to hide behind the keyboards. Don't put up with that. You're important. Be able to sell your ability to help someone get or reach whatever it is, X, their goal, what they're looking for. People don't care about our model, system, platform, technology in the very beginning. They care about what can you say to them right now over the phone that can possibly help them realize that this is an avenue or a path to get to their goals. And then compounding takes time. You cannot quit in the process. The only surefire way to fail in this business is if you quit. Now, some days, guys, you're going to feel like quitting if you're working hard enough. It's not that. Let me just break it down for you and be quite honest. The system is there to help you. What's going to be a burden to you is the fact that people let you down. People say, oh, yeah, I'm very excited about this business. I'm going to give it 5 years, and then 62 days later, they're thinking about quitting. People give up very, very easily. You're looking for winners. You're looking for people who have a long-term vision. If people quit on you, it's their fault. You keep moving the ball down the field with the team that you have in place, investing time behind the people that actually deserve it. And then 5 skills of a great recruiter. You challenge the conventional thinking. We are new. Think new. Don't do the same old things. How do things look today, and what are the answers? What is the opportunity for a better life? And then locate hard-to-find top talent. Don't steer away or shy away from people who are already successful. That's actually who we're looking for. And then sales and marketing. Be good at what you do. Brand yourself in virtual financial with perks and cultural values. And then turn passive prospects to eager candidates. You do that by building excitement, recruiting the successful, have them see the path we can provide, and have them want to be a part. We're not bringing people into this business, closing people. We're inviting people to take a look at what we're doing. We're bringing in the right people. The ability to leverage data to their advantage. Know what you're talking about and keep it current. What's going on in today's environment? The more knowledgeable you are, the more current you are, better conversations you're going to have. Ultimately, this is what you want. You want inbound marketing. You want to talk to people who've already been exposed to what we're doing, and they're ready to have a conversation. That's through landing pages, lead generation, paid search, social media, SEO, email marketing. We're trying to help you guys develop that. That is the longer-term goal. In the beginning, might not be there all the way yet. So we try to offer some things. We try to help you, work with the warm market. We also try to give you cold market advertising access. Whatever you have to do in the beginning, just do it to get your business off the ground. Eventually, as the business grows, it actually becomes like a self-generating with leads, because you bring somebody in, they've got 50 or 100 people in that CRM. That's 50 to 100 leads you guys are going to work through together. So in the beginning, do what you have to. As the organization grows, it will take care of itself. The CRM, the brains of our operation. If you haven't been in your CRM every day, you need to. You work all the aspects of the CRM depending on your role in the company and the organization, and that's very important. This is what you're going to do. Contact new leads with Tier 1 contact and confirm script. That's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. You follow up with existing leads with the same call script or ABC script, as well as emails, text, social media message, etc. Once again, to try to resolve the lead. We're not closing people, we're resolving leads. Manage your calendar for specific appointments, as well as task as your role in the assembly line, whether it's marketer, manager, or consultant. And you have tasks for the day you set outside the calendar. So you have specific things on the calendar, and you have other tasks that are not on the calendar, but they're designated for that day. On top of that, you've got stuff that you haven't finished maybe that are in the unfinished task. Once again, as you're placing the assembly line, marketer, manager, consultant. And then respond back to CRM notes with appropriate feedback or comments. Guys, especially in the beginning, the first 30 or 60 days for a new partner is crucial. You're seeing notes come through, offer positive reinforcement, offer suggestions, help these people out. We want them to know they're in business for themselves but not by themselves. It's very important that we create a community where people know they've got reinforcement, they've got help, they've got training, support, etc. And then don't forget, help the other people in the assembly line. This section right down here in the CRM, you can put F&As, you can put illustrations, you can put resumes. As long as anything is a PDF or is converted to a PDF, you can attach it. Remember, the brains of our operation, the better you know how to use the CRM, the more value you're going to extract out of it for yourself and your partners. And good management. We talk about this. Your job as a manager is crucial. All of this stuff that we offer is meaningless unless you provide two things in the beginning, direction and leadership. Communication, like we just talked about, is essential. It's a key. Make sure people are being listed in the CRM as a manager. If I'm a manager and I bring in a new partner, I'm showing them, put my name or my code in as a manager. If you need my calendar, this is how you pull it up. But I will be getting notes as you put them in, and I will be responding back to those notes. Poor notes or poor execution of the lead process can be solved very quickly in the beginning if it's identified. Habits, good or bad, are going to be formed. We want the good habits to come out of the first month or two. No notes coming through the manager's email shows there's no work being performed from the other side. Manager makes communication to help or to motivate. Like we talked about, that first 1 to 2 months is crucial. If you don't see any notes coming from a new partner, reach out to them. Figure out what's going on. How can I help them? If you've got no notes coming from a new partner, just ignore it. You're a terrible manager. If people go dark, keep them in your email string and periodically try to reach out to them and check in with them. But you can't resurrect the dead. You can't spend too much time trying to resurrect people, put them back in the system. These people have to want it. Your time is valuable, like we just talked about. You've got to invest time into people, processes, and activities that's going to give you a return. You can't want this more than your partner wants it. Team effort. Can't be one-sided. People will follow your lead or lack of lead. Be a leader. Also, I posted this in the Facebook group. If you guys need it, let me know. This is a team tracker. You should have an up-to-date list of your team, where they are, and what they're doing and what their next steps are. If you're getting the habit of just signing people up for this business, going through the circle, sending them off on their own, and wonder why they're drifting away, this is it. It's because your managerial skills need to step up to the plate. You've got to take control. Just like on prospecting, you want to be aggressive. You want to be an aggressive manager too. You want to lead people into a position where they can make money, progress, build an organization. If they're making money, they're going to stay. If they're not making money, they're not going to stay. It's our job to help them make money. Keep track of your team. Also, guys, on phase one, we've got a 3-pronged litmus test. If they're going to use a personal policy, it's got to be something that's suitable. It's got to be something they can medically qualify for if it's underwritten, and they've got to be able to afford it. If it passes that checklist, yeah, go forward. If it doesn't pass that checklist, we're going to need to find it somewhere else. So that's basically how you evaluate personal policies for phase one. Now, if a personal policy is something they're going to use or not going to be used, it's going to be found in the CRM. Once again, if you have an organization of 5 or 10 people, it's very easy to manage them with picking up the phone, calling, doing 3-way calls. But if you have an organization of 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 people, 0% chance you're going to be able to use that method. So what we've created is notes that allow for everybody to be informed about what's going on. So tier 3, outside of the tier 3 normal stuff, when the consultant puts the notes in, he or she is going to let the other 2 people know, the inviter and the manager, if there are 2 separate people, is there going to be a chance for personal policy to be suitable here? If so, the consultant lists it in the notes in the CRM for the tier 3. Now, what the manager and the inviter see is those notes. They come through their email. So now what's going to happen is the manager's job on the tier 4 is to make sure they ask 2 questions. What track did they pick? And if the consultant says there is personal suitability, are they planning to use a personal policy to take care of that track? If so, manager. Now basically what happens is both the consultant and the inviter see this. Now the inviter knows he or she, if they're not licensed in that state, needs to immediately hop on and start getting that license so we can get the appointment. The consultant knows now going into the tier 5 what he or she has to do. If they are using a personal policy, we're going to give them a couple options that are suitable. If they're not, then we're going to start hitting the warm market. So it's a very easy way, guys. This is a way to control distribution, control large organizations. That way, it's right there in black and white. The inviter doesn't pick up the license, his or her fault. The manager doesn't put the notes in appropriately, his or her fault. This is going to create accountability in the process. And when we talk about choices, usually if it's a married couple, you can give them a few choices. If it's an individual, maybe 2 choices. But the choices, should be something that makes sense for them. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole thing because we're running out of time, but in choices, you want to build value over cost. Yes, a permanent policy like an IUL is going to be more expensive than a term policy. But if you look at it over periods of time compared to a term, compared to a return of premium, it's a much better value. So the value, if you learn how to express that over the cost of something, will probably lead you into some bigger and better sales. If the phase 1 is not doable on a personal policy, we're going to also assist the new partner. We're going to help them get it done. But if you go out there and say, all right, here's a script, start calling people in the CRM, ask them these questions, schedule a call with me, guys, it's going to be a huge fail, and those people are going to get very frustrated and discouraged through this process, and their attitude towards the business is going to change. So we don't want them going out doing the insurance agent's job. We also don't want them going into large conversations about what could possibly happen, what obstacles you're running into. It's not their job in the beginning. The easiest way that we're going to help them is say, okay, just like we lead the business opportunities with videos, somebody's in your warm market, we want you to lead with a video. And this is the last video that I posted in YouTube about living benefits. There are some other ones. Remember, we talk about the size of this marketplace, 148 million active in-force terms, 70 to 90 million fall into a window that can be rewritten or what we call upgraded. So if I'm in your warm market and you don't approach me with video like this, and I just bought a house 4 years ago, and I have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, disability from an illness or accident that leads to financial chaos that ultimately leads to me being foreclosed on, you failed me. I'm in your warm market. You should be hitting me up. So what you would do is you would call me up, say, hey, Mike, I'm getting involved with the company. It's an amazing opportunity. I'm very excited about it. I'm not calling you about the business. I'm calling you. I need one favor from you. I'm going to say, sure. It's a 2-minute 40-second video. I'm going to send you on your phone right now. Watch it now. I'm going to call you back. I got one, possibly two questions for you. Easy, guys. This will do the information for you. If they don't have a term policy, we can open up the question to see if they want to look at what options are available for them. If they've got a term policy, now we're going to say, hey, did you know this was happening? Do you want to see if you possibly qualify for the additional benefits and monthly savings? If I've got a traditional term and you send this video to me and I can still medically qualify, I'm going to sit down with you. I'm very interested in getting all the additional benefits. It's just about the fact that when you guys put warm market leads in the CRM or when a new partner does, they're not being worked appropriately. So if the business is not an option, let's try to go out and let's try to do our crusade, which is get living benefits into as many hands as possible. If we chop that 70 to 90 million number down to 50 million and we say there's 250 million adults in this country, well, just a raw numbers perspective tells you that possibly 1 out of every 5 people you're talking to probably falls into this window. If they don't have it, they're not interested, but they know somebody who has it, could open up a conversation there. So make sure we're doing the best we can with the warm market to extract value for our partners, which is going to fuel premium for the organization, promotions for you guys. Also, no matter what we're doing, don't hide behind the keyboard. Too many of us do this. Pick up that phone. It makes you money. If you are hiding behind the keyboards constantly, your growth pattern is going to stall out. You're not going to start getting past the learning curve. You're not really going to develop in this company. Picking up that phone, making those phone calls is hard. Nobody wants to do it, but that's where the income, that's where the growth, that's where the confidence to go forward is going to come from. So once again, don't hide behind the keyboard. Pick up the phone. Worst phone call you ever make, I'll take that any day over no phone call. And then also, know your numbers. We always talk about this. Know what you have to do to get what you want and know how to scale those numbers to get even more of what you want. So 1 hour. I'm a firm believer of breaking your day down. Instead of blocking out 3 or 4 hours you're going to make calls, let's concentrate on 1 hour and give it ultimate attention, focus, energy, intensity, and execution. That 1 hour is going to allow you to measure that basis. It's far easier to improve both the short term and the long term. You set continuous deadlines and goals. That creates intensity. You got an hour deadline versus a month deadline versus a year deadline. Obviously, you can see the hour creates a lot more intensity. And then finally, reward. Reward yourself often, which creates excitement, which carries over to more of the day. If you're doing something well, pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a reward. If you're not, kick yourself in the butt. Get going. These smaller increments will allow you to get more out of what you do. Also, know your numbers. When Alana and I were on track for SVP, under the company track, what we had to do, we knew pretty much every day how close we were, what we needed to do. Guys, these are not hard numbers to hit. You need to have a plan of action, and you need to know where you are to know where you're going to go and what you need to do to get there. $6,250 in monthly premium in your organization over a 90-day window, which is about $2,100 a month in premium, which is about $70 per day average premium being written in that organization. Let's start getting to these goals a lot faster. It's going to increase your income, increase your ability to get to the longer term goals, which is that distribution. And then this is really, if you're looking to fast track, it's a step-by-step diagram. Come in, you do a phase 1 exchange. If so, you're getting a 100% increase in commissions basically. You're getting an agency manager contract, and you're able to unlock phase 2 with deeply reduced guidelines for everything leading up to and including senior vice president. So once you're done with that training sale, you owe nothing to anybody in this company. There's no builder's exchange legs. There's no one going to come back and say, you owe me anything. So once you do that, now we're going to start concentrating on the build out. And under a fast track phase 2, all you've got to do is, start building your organization. First 3 people that come in and actually complete a fast track exchange, for them, they all get agency manager contracts. Now they're on the fast track too. For you, You're going to get a VP contract, maybe between $4,000 and $6,000. And now you're just concentrated on growing your team a little bit more, 3 additional phase 1 qualifiers. You could have 10 people on your team. The diagram concentrates on phase 1 qualifiers. And what you're going to do when you sit here, you're going to take a little pause. You're going to reflect. You've got yourself. You've got 6 phase 1 qualifiers that are behind you. Now all you have to do is help 5 of those 6, not 5 new, 5 of these 6 qualify for phase 2, just like you did over here with the initial build-out of the organization. At that point, you're a senior vice president, and you've got a lot of good things going in front of you and behind you with your partners who are on great tracks as well. And then don't forget, guys, that one exchange is all you owe, and then you're eligible to receive every exchange in the future for direct partners that come in. It creates a huge amount of leverage for you. So understand the benefits, understand how to talk about it, and understand how to relay those benefits over to the other side. Social media, we talked about this. Don't get overwhelmed by all the platforms. Take it step by step. But I talk about tools that you guys can start using immediately. So your approach for social media contact, you need to approach that strategically to get the most success. Coming in, treat this like a startup. When you have limited resources, don't just throw money at these platforms. That's a big mistake. You have to learn them. You've got to be more strategic. And that really comes from a start. So right down here, we've got a social marketing systems on VFG Pro. There's a lot. Even though there's only 6 categories here, there's a ton of information there. Go in there, learn what's there, start extracting value out of that. Also know that every great social media or online presence starts with a website. You need to make sure that you're promoting your website, sending people to your website, and you need to understand what's in your website. It's a great amount of information. This is a centerpiece of how you really go out and talk to people. 82% of the consumer IP traffic will be video by year 2021. What's it going to cost you to learn how to post more videos, be more interactive with videos? Absolutely nothing. And that's really, I call this the greatest call to action on the internet right now, is that play button. Video is where it's going to be. Start migrating more to video. I'm not talking about taking videos of you all the time. I'm talking about posting video content, being more video-centric. Your goal is to reach more prospects in the research phase to influence the purchase decision. Well, remember, we're not insurance agents selling insurance. Our research phase for the entrepreneur that we're researching can be any time. A good entrepreneur, like we talked about, is always on the lookout for opportunities. So we reach them and we influence them on a potential opportunity to come into our business. Understanding how to interact with your audience to build loyalty and affinity. This, once again, is not going to cost you anything. You can do research, you can learn, you can practice. If your social media accounts are not giving you much in the beginning, neither did mine. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to get better. You're going to have to practice doing some things that might be uncomfortable in the beginning, but it's okay. We've all been through the process, and now we can blaze a path for you that you don't have to overcome the obstacles that we did in the beginning, because we're teaching you how to. Amplify your reach. That's all social media is going to allow you to do, is amplify your reach, get in front of more people, and have more conversations. It's a tool. Answer questions. So it doesn't cost anything to answer questions, post questions, anything like that. This is all free stuff that you can do and get very good at it. Respond to comments. Once again, you get notifications, LinkedIn. Somebody's comment on your post, don't just let that go. If it's a negative comment, positive comment, respond back to it. Try to get interaction going. And then also offer additional value. Don't forget, we've got a bunch of stuff from our side, free material, free information. Offer additional value. That will help build your audience, influence your audience, and engage your audience. Conduct polls. People love to give you their opinion. If you don't believe me, go on Facebook and just look. Every day people are giving their opinion. I'm not talking about polls on religion, politics. I'm talking about polls that people want to be a part of. When I first joined LinkedIn, there was a lady, she had 4 different book covers. She asked the general public which one looks better, and she had like 30-some thousand comments on it. People love to give their opinion. Conduct polls, ask questions, respond. It's a very easy way to start building your audience. And then no matter what you're doing, prospecting, social media, whatever it might be, take a longer-term approach. Don't get frustrated in week 1 because you don't have a bunch of followers or a bunch of audience that's communicating with you. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little effort. 24 months, that's really where you want to look at this business right now. Yes, concentrate on the day, concentrate on the hour, But if you look out 24 months, you should have some goals that you want to accomplish in this business. It's way easier to know what you want to get and then back out of that than have no idea and try to go into that. And there's no limits here, guys. You're not going to run into a need for additional capital, additional infrastructure. There are no limits here. You will win if you decide you want to and you go to work. This is for you guys. This is all for you. The business, the meetings, it's all to help you. Additional screen share, training support, whatever you need. If you're working, we're willing to work with you. And then finally, before I show you a couple things online before we go, you have to remember that a business can be revolutionary or a business can be like everything else. This is an industry that's been around for hundreds of years. I don't want to compete in an industry like that. Revolutionary means you innovate. You stand alone. Like everything else that means you have to compete. We don't want to compete. We want to set ourselves aside as something different, something innovative, something new. That allows you to have a huge advantage in the marketplace. So we've got just a couple minutes left. Very quickly, guys, let me show you two things. First of all, is one of the ones that I showed you was right tag. Right tag for hashtag. So you pull up righttag.com, and in this search bar right here, if we want to look up marketing, you search right there. It's going to give you, these are good for Instagram. These are good to get seen now. These are good to get seen over time. So once again, build your hashtag. Don't sit at a post and think about 4 or 5 hashtags. You be copy and paste, copy and paste. Build your list by doing some research. Entrepreneur, marketing, whatever it is that you want to do. And the final thing before I let you guys go real quick is just real quick to make sure you guys understand. Normally in LinkedIn, where you search for particular people, you can do the same thing. So if I'm searching for entrepreneurs, and I hit search right there, well, now I can search for people, I can search for jobs, I can search for content, or I can search for more. When you search for more, the third one down is groups. When you click on this, it's going to list you the groups under that search. So, for example, Entrepreneur Magazine. As soon as that pulls up, I am already in this group. You can see there's 85,000 members basically. So I can post in here, I can interact, or I can go over here to see all. And then all of a sudden, I've got all these members that I can either start to look at the profile, connect, potentially message. So a huge opportunity. Don't neglect the groups here. If you want to know what groups you have, then go over to your Rubik's Cube right here. Click on that. Go to groups. And then that will take you to your groups right here. So you can see all the groups I'm associated with. But going back over here, to where we were. On the groups, guys, if you are, once again, searching for entrepreneur, and then we go over and we're looking for groups under more, if you are not already in that group, like entrepreneur in a small business forum, it'll say request to join. You can request any memberships, any groups that you want. Join a lot of groups, interact with those groups, start to pull people out of those groups for your own network, use them effectively. Last thing I'll leave you guys with is the hack for the day. If you were to post an image, a video, just a comment, and you want it to go to groups, you're going to have to go into all of your groups individually and post that. Where LinkedIn really rewards you, if you write original material, if you write an article, if you guys need any help with this, I've written a few. I'm going to write some more over the coming weeks. You write the article, and then when that original article is done by Mike Amos or whoever it might be, it's going to give you the option to post that original content not only to your audience, not only to the public, but to every group that you're involved in. With one click, I can hit 80, 90 groups, whatever I'm involved with. Original content written by you is rewarded by LinkedIn. It's a lot easier to post, third-party stuff, but if you get in the habit of writing an article every, couple of weeks, you're going to have a huge ability to blanket an audience with one click versus having to go on an individual basis. So that's it for today, guys. I'm going to grab Alana. If you guys have anything you need to talk about now, go ahead. If you need help on an individual basis, let us know. We're here to help you.
Great training, Mike. That was really, really good. I took like half a page of notes. So he's 100% right. I think you can be in up to 50 groups or more, so definitely jump into the groups. I met some great people on this call right now, actually, in some of the LinkedIn groups, so they definitely work. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the floor, so if anybody has anything they want to say, they can star 6 and unmute themselves. Let me just make sure you're set up for that. Bear with me just for a minute.
All right.
Alrighty, so you can unmute yourself if you want to by pressing star 6 if you have a comment, a question, and of course you can always reach us directly as well. And I usually like to leave it open for like, I don't know, a minute or so before I close it down.